It's about as fast as stock markets ever decline. I remember seeing that the first 4 months was the fastest decline in the S&P since 1939, when I was 1 year old and they were preparing for World War I. So that's a pretty good excuse to go down. And this was the fastest decline. This is about as fast as markets go down. They always have good rallies. There's nothing as quick and spectacular as a bear market rally. They had one in late 1929 to early 1930, an absolute doozy of 45%. And of course, with historical hindsight, they signify very little, but at the time, they frightened the pants off the bears. And they give hope that all is over, all is forgotten, and it's back to the races. And I suspect we may very well have a pretty decent bear market rally as we sit. I wouldn't be surprised if this went on for at least another month. In terms of the entire bear market, it would be unusual for it to bottom out anywhere near this high. I would expect that by the low, that the S&P would have declined by 50% from the peak in real terms. So you do have to adjust the stock market for inflation. And also the trend. The trend in the market is a little over 4% a year. And as time passes, you should put that into the fair value. So a year from now, when the bear market might end, trendline value would be almost 3,000 on the S&P. Of course, there's no rule that says you stop at fair value. Typically, in previous big bubbles breaking, they go down below that. They went down below, of course, in the housing bust of 2009. And they went down in every great bear market break, they went below trend, except Alan Greenspan's specialty in 2000. In 2000, the S&P was heroically overpriced. It came down 50%. But at 50% decline, it was only fair value. It only hit the trend and then bounced as the Fed raced to re-stimulate. The NASDAQ went down 82. That's a lot of pain. And it's possible that would do that again. But you do have to adjust for inflation. There was very little inflation around in 2000. But this time, with inflation running at 8 or 9, it does move the nominal value of the S&P upwards, and one shouldn't lose sight of that. The second shoe is going to drop, which is profits. So you have even a mild recession, you get a big whack from profit margins. And the PE goes down, but also the earnings, you're multiplying it, goes down. It is quite likely and plausible that earnings will drop in a recession. I don't include classic FANGs as being in the super speculative category. I think you could throw Tesla in at its peak. That was super speculative, great company, but a bit of a silly price there. But the others, like Amazon and so on, they're great companies, but I wouldn't have included them as super specs. And yes, they're down quite a lot. It's hard in a bull market to get your brain around what happens in a bear market. Let me go back to Amazon in the 2000 bust. It didn't just come down. As its sales continued to grow, of course, in those days, it didn't have earnings because it was running on borrowed resources.